Hello everyone and welcome to the WNIHL2 Grand Final. This between two South teams, the Cambridge Kodiaks and the Streatham Storm. I'm Richard Rambo Gray. We'll be joined by Adam Mackman. He's doing his run around the rink interviewing people. Now we have a wee look at the rosters for this game. Cambridge, an absolutely stacked roster. If you watched the games yesterday, you'll be aware of Christina Ashley, Sarah Carvenin, Claire Ledbury. The captains of this team are absolutely fantastic, but that's not to take away from Alicia Anderson, who's the biggest handful in this team and probably the biggest threat across the board. And Streatham, the only team to defeat Cambridge this season. A lot of talent in this team, but a very, very smart and well stacked up team. Anya O'Kane being one to watch going forward, and Broadbank, number 26 there, being the star on D. I'm looking really forward to this one. I think it should be a tight contest. Streatham should take away a lot of the opportunities that Cambridge were getting yesterday. Obviously they played each other twice this season. There is familiarity there, so it's going to be one of these games where there's probably a little bit of contempt on both sides, and could be a tasty one. So hope you're looking forward to it as much as I am. Teams are ready for the just about ready for the face-offs there. The 5-minute warm-up done. We'll come straight on ice after Bristol celebrated their win in WNIHL1. There will be an ice cut maybe after this period. It'll be a slightly longer break, but the teams are now set and they are ready to go. Thorogood for Streatham and Christina Ashley in the draw, and it's Streatham that take an initial control of the puck. A dump in by Broadbank there. Gallagher, wearing the Jamieson shirt, is indeed Gallagher, is on the puck in the corner. She was one of the, I think she had a brace yesterday for Streatham. Thorogood tries to play it out. That's well read by Christina Ashley, and she's going to come the other way. She's got Sarah Latti in front of her. We talk about stars on D. Sarah Latti, well known, former ringette international with Finland. To the point, and Zaki can keep it in. That's dumped in the zone, and Cambridge will go for a change. Streatham get a couple of players off, and Sarah Latti, great pass to Gallagher there, but she's at the end of a shift, so maybe a little bit tired. And Sarah Carvenin wrestles her down. The referee says that's fine, and she was just reaching in. Got tied up a little bit there. Alicia Anderson pokes it through. Carvenin can't get a hold of it. And now Streatham will take possession. Right, gets all tied up there. Back it goes. Not a lot of forechecking there. Cambridge yesterday started each period absolutely on fire, but they're a little quieter this morning to start the game. I appreciate it's only a couple of minutes in, but yesterday they were off the mark very, very quickly. But today, a little bit slower, a little bit more tentative start. Perhaps earlier time, and also the familiarity of the teams. They know the threat that Streatham can pose if they make a mistake. So Alicia Anderson broken up. Oh, that was just offside. The referee says Alicia Anderson pleading her case, but the whistle's already went, so it's not really going to change anything. And Adam's back now.
Yes, thanks for stepping in there, Rambo. Much appreciated.
Appreciate I didn't have your permission this time, but I felt it was better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
You not officially have my permission, but I figured you would do that anyway, which I was happy you did. So that allowed me to get a couple of post-game interviews, which will be uploaded shortly. And, well, this promises to be a really exciting game, doesn't it?
It does, and as I said to you yesterday, I can see why Streatham are the one team that's taken some points away from Cambridge this season. The way they set up yesterday, and the start from Cambridge has been a lot slower than it was yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, they'll probably be a little bit wary coming into this game, won't they, knowing that this is the one team that's perhaps their kryptonite.
Yes.
As it will be controlled by Holland. Picked off, though, by Sarah Latti, the Finnish-born defender. Yoa Hoshizaki looking to stride forward.
I will apologise. I butchered that name before you got up here. So
Hoshizaki?
Yeah, I think I said Hosazaki, so I was
Close enough.
yeah, it was. I used a hard O instead of a soft O. So.
I'm sure there's far worse mispronunciations on names this weekend than that. Speaking of which, I did speak to the Streatham number 6, who's from Lithuania, and she did correct me on the pronunciation, as that one's covered up by Lilith Wright. Makes a good save early on. So her name is Augusta Tomasevachute. She said best to say it slow. She said, and you pronounce it better. Oh, fair enough. Looks like we're going to get a power play to the Kodiaks then. As,
I'm not entirely sure what for. A misconduct penalty.
Yeah, okay.
Perhaps maybe said something to the ref, feeling that the goalie was played after the cover there, but yeah. I think it was a kind of 50-50 challenge. So one thing that Streatham can't afford to do is take lots of penalties against this Cambridge team with a very potent power play, something that they've had for the last 2 years.
Indeed, yeah. So Ollie Broadbank it is who will serve that penalty. I mean, really, you would suspect that the power plays or special teams could be what settles this game, because it could be so close, couldn't it?
It certainly could, and it takes away that neutral zone press that that Streatham play, because they can't overcommit because you're already down numbers.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, indeed, as that's dug out from along the boards, and delayed offside there as Jennings was about to dump it back in. But we saw from yesterday both teams clinching 8-1 wins in their respective semi-finals against the northern opponents, which suggests that, considering how close Telford and Widnes were through the regular season, that again there's not going to be much difference between them in this one. So it does promises to be a really close matchup, much like we saw with Bristol and Swindon in that Division 1 game just before. Yes,
it certainly does. And as I said before you came out, familiarity breeds contempt here. So
yeah,
it could as we saw in the Bristol game, it got a little bit tasty at times as well. So.
Well, yes, it did, didn't it? So much on the line as we get a stoppage up in front of the bench. Well, this is the first time this Streatham side has made a playoff final for 3 years, but on an occasion they came up against the Swindon Top Cats as they started off from the bottom and had to work their way back up to where they are now. Team led by an even younger Lily Endicott and Ellie Wallace on that occasion. So that was a tough team on that time, and this is going to be an equally tough one against what is an impressive Kodiaks lineup. But if anything, this Streatham side is probably stronger than the one we had on that occasion. So this is why it's so finely poised, I think. And I think on that occasion, Swindon were just overwhelming favourites. The fact that these two sides have split the regular season series adds to that, as well as Josie Milton, one of the impressive youngsters playing on this team, will gather. Cuts across the high slot, a drop pass for Alicia Anderson, who fires. It's charged down though by the Storm, who will push out. It was Gallagher, who we saw scored a lovely goal yesterday, didn't we?
Yes, yeah, and she was to paraphrase a Ted Lasso saying, she was here, she was there, she was everywhere.
Yes,
for Streatham yesterday. So
indeed, yeah. Well, Coventry. When Cambridge Kodiaks had a lot of time in the offensive zone there, but didn't really get a clean shot off, and you'd have to credit the Streatham penalty kill there, wouldn't you? Yes,
yeah. I mean, positionally, I think they are one of the most sound teams. Certainly, I've seen in Div 2 in the my experience of it all season. Even maybe more so than Cambridge. Cambridge are certainly a highly skilled team, but I think if Streatham can stick to their discipline, they're going to cause Cambridge a few headaches today.
Indeed, yeah.
And there's no reason with firepower like Anya O'Kane and Gallagher up front, there's no reason why they can't come away with a win here.
And here is O'Kane, after you just name dropped her, forces the palm stinger from Alicia Jackson in the Kodiaks goal. That one will be cleared. And dumped into a corner. And apologies, there was a late upload of the interview we did post-game with Cambridge pair, Claire Ledbury and Christina Ashley. There was an issue with the file become corrupted and I couldn't upload it, so I had to do a retake. And for some reason, Facebook's dragging its heels over uploading, but hopefully that will be with you shortly. It'll be good to hear from both players ahead of this game. Hopefully you can check that out during the intermission when we're having the Ice Cup.
Which I think will be after this period. That's what my belief is, based on the way they've done the Ice Cups today.
Okay, that'll be well. It would be.
I might be completely wrong, but
yeah. Well, we shall see. We're always kept guessing, aren't we, to the last second? As that one's dumped in, Erin Russell will drop back. She had a really strong game last night, didn't she, Erin? Who generated a lot of offense from the blue line.
Yes, yeah. I think I've been mighty impressed with the deal on both teams that we've got out here. But Erin Russell, I think for Cambridge was the one that stood out, and Broadbank, who just went in for the pinch and missed it there after me saying that. But I think Broadbank for Streatham, and of course we can't ever discount the benefits of having a Sarah Latti in your team as well. So.
Well, this is true, as that one is collected by Beth Wolfson-Romano. Alicia Anderson pushing that one out and then work back, but you get the sense that these two sides are very patient right now. They're still trying to find each other out, aren't they? They don't want to give up too much. It's such a game of fine margins that they don't want to give up anything cheap, do they? Yeah,
I think as opposed to yesterday when you're playing relatively unknown teams and you want to start quick and get that mental jump on the other team, this is a game where both teams have played each other, they know each other, so they're probably just trying to limit their mistakes because they don't want to give the other team anything.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we're going to get a face-off then in the Streatham zone. Julia Mabry will take the draw. I was talking to Mum actually yesterday from around the Boston area in America. That one dug out the corner.
I think that's one thing when we played the Blues. Julia Mabry's not on this Kodiaks team last year, and then lo and behold, that's another top Cambridge Blues player coming to the lineup. So
it is a pretty formidable lineup. But as we said yesterday, really, Streatham have some good players of their own. Anya O'Kane, one of the talented youngsters who won the Under-16 championship 3 years ago with the London Capitals. She's become a standout star on this team. Augusta Tomasevichute, as I learnt yesterday, from Lithuania. She's another top player. And Sinead Jennings, Petra Kosegi from Hungary, Sarah Latti, as we mentioned, and Jazz Wilson. There's some pretty good players on there as well. And they have brought their strong lineup for this tournament. Work back to a point. Well eased away by Catherine Leake, who did spend some time with Streatham prior to the Kodiaks coming into existence ahead of last season. Lati will collect at centre red, will drive forward. We know she's the top scorer for Streatham, so very much the player to try and shut down if you're a Cambridge player. And that one will be cleared. Jazz Wilson will drop back. Again, we mentioned before Jazz Wilson, she's got experience of having played for Streatham in the Elite League in the past, so someone who's capable of operating at such a high level.
Yeah, and hugely beneficial in terms of handling the pressure of a final. It's a different experience. I think last year, arguably our game against Cambridge in terms of a matchup was probably slightly closer than our game against Cardiff, but the pressure was higher against Cardiff because that was the final.
Yes, so that was the promotion game, wasn't it?
Yeah, and this is a promotion game as well.
Indeed,
to see who's going to join Division 1 next year.
Yeah, for so long this season, the assumption was it was Cambridge's to lose. Well, if one team can stop them, as we said before, it is Streatham, and so this isn't a gimme by any means, is it? And you wouldn't like to call it right now as to which way this will fall.
No, and I think, to be honest, for Cambridge, if they do manage to pull this off, they wouldn't want it coming easy because they're about to go into a league that's a lot tougher.
Indeed,
so,
yeah. You've got to earn the right, haven't you?
Yeah. You want to be tested, before you go up and prove that you're in those high pressure spots you can hang in.
Well, this is it, yeah. As that one's collected at the blue line by Erin Russell. She strides forward. Josie Milton onto that loose puck, trying to work it into some space. Nobody there, so she'll have to chase it down. But yesterday's player of the game for the Storm, Helen Clark, gets that one away. Scored a brace yesterday. Interview with her is up on Ice Maidens if you want to check that one out. Of course, wait till the break. Don't miss any of the action right now. Or the expert analysis from Rambo.
Yeah, shameless plug there, but
yeah,
well
it
was. Also be available on All Blaze No Glory Ice Maidens, the podcast later on.
Indeed, yeah.
Might as well plug the podcast as well.
Well, absolutely, it's more coverage for a women's game, and for those of you who haven't checked out the...
Oh, what a tip!
It's Josie Milton with the goal. She read it perfectly, and that top line for the Kodiaks, getting the job done. And it almost came out of nothing, Rambo, didn't it?
Yeah, it looked fairly innocuous. And, it was the tip that made it. The goalie had the initial sort of play covered, but just got completely wrong-footed.
Here's the replay coming up now.
Looks like they cleared it actually, but that's a nice little step in from
Shizaki, then Goldstone it was, wasn't it, with the set-up play and the tip in by Milton, and that familiar celebration that she has, the two-handed fist pump. We saw that yesterday, and she has got the go-ahead goal then, so she breaks this deadlock.
She's a good player to watch.
She is.
She's a talent player, but the passion she has for the game is evident there.
It is. I love watching her play as well. It's a delight. It's a shame that it's only usually at playoffs, but I get to see her. But she is very impressive. As we said yesterday, started her career with Peterborough. So this is our third straight season of playing in the playoffs.
Should we be calling her Josie Playoffs then?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few players like that probably, isn't there? Imagine if you call Jodie Alderson-Smith Jodie Playoffs as well. So.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a given that Solihull and Queen Bees are going to be there each season for sure. As that one enters in, but yeah, as we said, goal really coming out of nothing, but just shows you that you can't switch off for a second, can you? Because players will punish you like that. And Josie Milton, who's been on a two-way with the Milton Keynes Falcons, so she already knows what it's like in the division above and the target to get up there. And what a moment for a young player as well to get that opening goal.
Scoring a final is it's a huge thing. I know how proud we Jess was of scoring in the semi-final last year. So you know, it's a big deal scoring in these playoffs.
Indeed, as puck is played forward towards Schultz. Tipped on. Catherine Leake was trying to get a piece of that one on the way through just to break the play up, but then it's dealt with by Beth Woolston-Romano. In the corner now, Streatham will carry it out with Jazz Wilson towards Sinead Jennings.
I think you need to be careful coming out of the zone and try to rush the whole ice against Cambridge.
Yeah.
Especially if anyone misreads and doesn't cover properly. It's going to be difficult to get back into position.
Mm-hmm. You would have thought so.
Leaving Lilith right with a big ask against an odd person rush from Cambridge.
Yeah, indeed. And that one comes across the high slot then, whiffed on there by Alexis Butler, and that's allowed Hoshizaki to break in. Needs a bit of support, but great defensive coverage there from Jazz Wilson, who got back and just broke that play up, didn't she? Like a wrecking ball. Josie Milton over on that far side, again working hard. Wilson comes across, though, pounces on that loose puck. It's where she knows where the puck's going to go, doesn't she, Jazz? I think that's what makes her such a good defender. Yeah,
anticipation is massively important as a defender and as goalie, actually. Reading the play is so important.
Yeah, that one's dumped in. It'll be helped on its way by Alicia Jackson. Sorry, Alicia Anderson, I should say. It's our first season with the Kodiaks. So you faced a very different goalie last season, Cheyenne Overgaard, who sadly she had to go back to the States, but I mean, she had a phenomenal semi-final against the Steel Queens, didn't she?
Yeah, I mean, you say sadly, I think the rest of the league was quite happy.
I'm sure they were, actually, yes.
But she was incredibly talented goalie, and you know, we got a lot of rubber on her, and she had a very, very good game.
She certainly did. But yeah, it's sad really from a neutral, because you love watching players like that, but I can certainly appreciate anyone who played against her would be happy to see the back of her. As the puck gets stopped. Oh, that was...
It's not went for the change
no,
there, so
almost.
there is... Yeah, but with the door open,
yeah.
you could...
I was thinking for a second, did anyone actually step off then? Because otherwise that would have been too many players. But as you say, I think they just about got away with that one.
I mean, you can't get away with it if it's incidental contact as you're stepping off the ice. But
no.
She definitely played the puck there. So
she stopped, turned, and then played it after trapping it with her feet. Yeah, Gallagher controls, but gets outnumbered again. Kodiaks getting players back in numbers. Ledbury, Carvenan, to name but two that were involved there. I think there was a third player I didn't quite spot, but yeah, Kodiak's doing a good job here. Gallagher wearing Jameson's jersey. To cut down
I feel that
the slot there.
Streatham a little bit. They need to maybe need to shoot in the rush instead of trying to take on two defenders when they are going in 1-on-2.
Yeah,
get behind them and maybe put some pressure, some goal mouth pressure on.
Ashley winds one up. Oh, it's in!
That's the old C&I puck there as well.
Oh,
just
it was
sneaked through.
Well, Christina Ashley won't mind that. They don't ask you how, they ask you how many.
No.
And she's already passed the 100 goal mark for the club. But for Lilith Wright, yeah, that was a cruel blow on her, really. She's been outstanding in these playoffs already. We'll get a replay of it.
100 goals in 2 seasons.
Yeah, it's
Madness.
insane, isn't it? But there we go. Getting the puck under control, and once she did, she just let fly. Drilled it.
Got a piece of that.
Interesting, Stretton McCullough a timeout here.
It's quite early to call a timeout, but then maybe they feel that they just want to stem this flow. It feels maybe a little bit like Cambridge are got some momentum, so maybe want to wrestle a little bit of that back and calm everyone down. And also, it's a young goalie as well, so
you want to get her composed. You can see actually that's Richard, the goaltending coach, who's talking to her just to the left as the camera pans across. So he's probably using this opportunity just to go through some things. You can see he's in deep discussion there with her. Yeah. And he's part of the elite team coach and staff as well. Interesting, actually, the last time I watched the Streatham elite team at home against Whitley Bay, the Beacons went 2 goals up in quick succession towards the end of the first period in similar circumstances to this one, and they called a timeout then as well. And I know people often think, oh, you know, it's very early in the game to call it because you've got over 40-odd minutes to then, if you needed to call another one, you can't do. But they, you know, if Streatham feel they want to make sure the game doesn't get out of hand too early in the game, don't they? Yeah,
I mean, it's really, every coach will have a feel for when they want to do it. You normally, you know, going into a game, I almost have in my head when I think I'll end up needing to call a timeout, depending on the situation of the game. And you know, you can't take them with you either, so you can't bank them for the next game. So
this is true,
if you feel you need to take it, take it.
Yeah.
And in fairness, in this game, you get a longer period break. You've got more time to compose yourself.
That is true. Yeah, that is essentially an extended timeout, isn't it? But I suppose if you're, you know, it's a 1-goal game with a minute to go, you probably want to call one then, wouldn't you, ideally, to then pull your goalie and what have you.
Yeah.
But I'll worry about that if and when they get to that position, as Claire Ledbury will not get there before the whistle, and it'll be an icing call on the Storm. But yeah, I mean, apart from anything else, it's just a good chance to stop that momentum building any further for Cambridge, isn't it?
Now that the coach is taking the time out, it's very important that the leaders on the ice are able to relay messages to like the goalie and things like that. So, you know, if they're thinking of pulling her towards the end of this game, assuming it's maybe still just a 2-goal or 1-goal game, then she sort of knows what the cues are from the bench, maybe to look as they're breaking out. Yeah, that sort of thing. And there is an advantage to Streatham in this game in the fact that the clock is in front of the goalie's face, so they can kind of see the timing and work out from there a little bit as well.
Yeah, that is true.
That's a good block by Broadbank there.
It was, yeah, and I mean, you can't argue with how Streatham have been competing. They were perhaps unlucky with the first goal. It came out of nothing, and then the second one, as we said before, just cruel luck on Lilith Wright. But Cambridge are deadly in those situations, and they will take their opportunities when they come their way. But still plenty of time to go in this one, and
I mean, with Christine Ashley, luck doesn't explain how you scored 100 goals in 2 seasons.
No, absolutely not. No.
but
sometimes you will have the bounce go your way, and perhaps it didn't go in Lilith's favour on this occasion.
No. You don't win the lottery if you don't buy a ticket, and Christine Ashley's always ready to pull the trigger, which is
yeah, she's a phenomenal goal scorer. The female Mario Lemieux, I called her last night, and she wears the number 66 jersey because that is her father's favourite player, and was my favourite player when he was playing. Lovely little snippet of information there. Any excuse to mention a Pittsburgh Penguins player.
Was that an interview that's going to be a nice way to say that?
No, that was outside it, actually. We had a bit of a chat before my phone malfunctioned. Tips back in, but then Streatham will clear. On this near side, Holland working hard, and then Toma Sevachute will carry in. Alexis Butler switches the play over onto the far side. Puck just getting caught up under the feet there of Helen Clark, who had to readjust. Now it's Holland who will carry in. Mabry, nice hands from her. Shot from the high slot from Leek. Dealt with though by Lilith, and that's turned aside.
One thing Streatham don't want to do there is leak another goal.
Oh dear. you went there, didn't you?
Yeah, I've been waiting to do that for 2 days, to be honest with you.
If anyone hasn't heard of Rambo's puns by now, well, you just have heard one. As that one will clear. There was a nice one earlier off camera when Olivia Bath scored a hat-trick for the Whitley Bay Beacons.
Yeah, I was down in the. I was trying to feed Adam some lines.
I wish I'd seen it at the time. Now I thought he would have read it out if I'd seen it.
They said that Whitley got out of their pool and now they're enjoying a bath.
Yeah, that was a good one. As it's controlled again by Ollie Broadbank. Won't have the legs to cross the line. Now it will, and Hoshizaki will control. It's fired back in. Broadbank can't get it into her reach, and Butler will come across and control with 40 seconds left in the period. We believe it will just be a 5-minute break. I can't see anyone remotely close to firing up the Zamboni. Shot comes in, big save by Alicia Anderson. Blocked and charged down.
Oh, there's time here for this break from.
Yeah,
probably actually the rough ice probably helped the Storm hugely there, because
it slowed Milton down there, didn't it?
Yeah, it slowed down, got caught up on her feet, and allowed them to regroup.
It did, yeah. It really did. Nice hands by Anderson over on the far side. Well, that will do it then for the first period. A 2-goal lead for the Kodiaks. There's not been much in it between the sides, though, has there, really?
Not really. I mean, both goals, I would say, were they weren't fluky by any stretch of the imagination, but they both came out of kind of just failing to clear their zone at those occasions, but they've been pretty good at being composed otherwise. So, no reason why they can't get back into this game.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like the games yesterday where everything's with Cambridge or everyone's with Streatham. It feels like it's pretty balanced. So, despite the scoreline, I think it could. This one could go to the wire.
Indeed.
I'm kind of secretly hoping for a shootout.
It would be good to have a game that goes a distance, wouldn't it? We're going to take a short break, then we'll be back with you in just over 4 minutes' time. So please don't go anywhere.
Thanks. And we're back for period 2. Just let Adam finish his biscuit.
It was a Tesco's version of Twix. It was very nice. You have to grab these chances when you can, Rambo, when you're commentating non-stop all day.
I'm very aware of that. Very aware of that, and don't blame me at all.
Well, we're back underway, as you say, and Streatham with a bit of work to do, but as we said before, we took that little break, but they're still very much in it, aren't they? As Milton again showing some good hands there to compete against Anya O'Kane. We're going to face off in the neutral zone. And it will be Christina Ashley's line out there.
So this is, I think, they're basically the two top lines for each team. So yeah, they seem to be matching up, I think, pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe so. And I mean, you kind of expect that. The two best sides in the division and the top lines do match up well. It was a bit like what we saw in the previous game between Bristol and Swindon, almost cancelling each other out. It's controlled around the boards. Yeah, well, I mean, that was really close, that last game. As Jazz Wilson battles hard, but Milton showing good strength there, actually, to get inside the defender. Shrugs off a challenge, tried to pick out Ashley, who was racing down the slot. So we're Milton, though, again, good hands, and then it's almost tipped home first by Carvenan, and then onto Ashley's backhand. Now, Streatham will counter. Schultz being
as I say,
wide.
I think you've got to shoot beyond the D and hurry in for any rebound that may be left, because the D Cambridge are very hard to beat one-on-one, and sometimes they're trying to even beat them one-on-two, which is, you know,
what
we
indeed.
can't all be Christina Ashley, you know.
Well, this is true, and controlled over on that far side. Collected by Alexis Butler. That one's going to be tipped in. Is it going to go for icing? No, but the official did raise her arm in case it did. Butler, again, shooting, testing Anderson, at least forcing her to move across her crease to play that one. Oshizaki working hard to dig that one out. The next time I'll see you, Rambo, will probably be in July for the Sheffield tournament, where we have a summer tournament here every year, and Steel Queens will be making their debut, which will be good to see you.
Oh, and this should be a power play.
I think so, yeah.
For they're pointing to. I don't think they've given the penalty. That. Oh no, she has now.
Yes, the player's going back to a
good
bench.
Teamwork by the officials there, because I don't think she realised there was no deflection. The referee. I mean, it's legitimately like a straightforward rule.
Yeah, it's Alicia Anderson who's.
She will protest her case. I think we've seen a lot of futile protests in the couple of games we've done together.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I mean, if you can sneak off back to a bench and notice, you're going to try it, aren't you? And you can't blame her for that. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, your team will be making their debut at the Sheffield tournament. That's always a good event. So anyone who wants their summer hockey fix, do come down in mid-July for that one. Oh, that one loops just wide.
And don't forget that there is a WNIHL tournament if you're further
Bristol,
south, and that's the British Women's Ice Hockey Friendship Tournament. That's what that means.
Yeah.
Big save.
That will be in June, about 3 weeks from now, I think.
Very interesting format as well, as everyone plays everyone in short games.
Yeah.
And it's about 10 teams, I think.
Yes, it is, yeah, over 2 days. So you get a lot of action there. And for those of you who can't wait until the new season, well, that's a good weekend all round, really. Yeah.
That was like one of my approach shots to a par 4, that shot, unfortunately.
Gallagher carries in. O'Kane was looking to advance, but good work there by Ashley, who, well, I mean, we talk about her so much in terms of her offensive output, but her work off the puck as well is phenomenal. Yeah,
it really is, and I think that's what makes the difference between a good goal scorer and a good player is having that sense to and that was very offside.
That was, yeah, and it was well spotted by the officials.
And in fairness, if they hadn't spotted that one, they'd have rightly got gypped for that one.
Indeed, yeah. Yeah.
officials do needlessly get a hard time, but that one was one they should have got.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. So this one will take place then just outside of the Kodiaks blue line. Jennings will take the... No, is it? Yes, it is. It's Sinead Jennings who will take the draw for Streatham. And Julia Mabry for the Kodiaks. Out wide. Puck rolling its way almost, not quite on its side. It was almost at a 45-degree angle there, wasn't it? Very odd as that one made its way into the Streatham zone. Carvenan. This is her first straight season playing in the playoffs as well, having been here 2 years ago at the semi-final stage with Peterborough before losing again at the same stage last season with Cambridge.
I think that's one thing Cambridge have benefited from. Is, you know, we talk about them as a new team as the Steel Queens were last year, but actually one of the huge things is how much league experience they actually have. From the players who played for other clubs and things, and that's vitally important. Oh, that's a good stop by Lilith Wright there. Yeah, just stood Anderson up there. She raced out the box. I almost forgot that Cambridge was on the penalty kill there. But yeah, she did well there, Lilith Wright. Such a talented young goalie. We said before yesterday, didn't we? We're blessed with having so many good goalies in this country right now. Yeah, and it makes the game more interesting. Sadly, it made our Div 1 semi-final too interesting, but but no, it really does make the game more interesting than your players are having to produce to score goals. Yeah, albeit there was a funny bounce, I think, for the unfortunate bounce for the Top Cats, and for that first goal that Bristol scored earlier today. So yeah, well, the first two goals were off Swindon players that went in, and then the game-winning goal came off a deflection or redirect off a Bristol player as well. So such cruel goals to concede from Swindon's point of view, and I know the girls were upset afterwards, as you can understand. It was such a big game. They gave everything, but sometimes it's just not your day. Doesn't matter how well you play, does it? No, the only thing you can control is your effort level. You can't control the bounces and and the scoreline sometimes. As much as you try, you just, Well, that's right, yeah. And obviously Gemma Davis was outstanding in goal. I think everyone in agreement she's been the best goalie in the Division 1 playoffs this year. I'm sure you will testify to that after yesterday's semi-final, Loz. Yep, I saw her at breakfast this morning. I said, you are the girl that stole my hopes and dreams away from me. That's very Brad Marchand-esque, isn't it? After he lost the Stanley Cup in 2019 to the St. Louis Blues. Said something very similar. Stole his destiny or something. Carvenan using a strong arm there on Olive Broadbank. Milton advancing. And she goes again, trying to set up Mabry. Carvenan. But getting cleared, but they're having to dig that one out. And chases it down into a corner. Milton working hard though to advance on goal. And she's got it back and she finished. Good defensive play in the end. It was a last-ditch challenge. I think it was Amy Jackson who got back there, and just as Josie was pulling the trigger. I think I'd have put my mortgage on that being a goal if Jackson hadn't intervened. 9 times out of 10, it probably would have gone in. But as you say, great did well to stay onside there as well. Yeah. Although everyone seems to be over there, you could almost throw a blanket over them over that side of the ice. Yeah. Anderson will. And that's left the space for Anderson. Oh, she scored. That's 3-0. And the Kodiaks with a little bit more daylight now, but took that well, didn't she? I mean, she made it all herself. The entry into the zone is what really got her into a good position. As we see here, she drifts wide. I mean, look at that. 4 Streatham players she had to beat and gets in behind. And once she had time to pick a spot and put it low under the blocker. That as we talked about the floating the blanket, the honey pot in there kind of created that space for her to skate into. And despite Streatham doing their best to get back, it's Alicia Anderson you You give her an inch, she's going to take a mile.
Well, indeed, yeah.
So
yeah, she will.
Good finish. That height is really difficult for goalies with
yes,
as well. So
particularly on the blocker side, to try and get it down, isn't it? So Alicia Anderson with confirmation of that goal then. The big three then really of the scorers for Kodiaks have all got a goal.
Yeah, I mean certainly before you came up I mentioned Alicia Anderson and Christina Ashley, and we talked I think quite a lot about Josie Milton yesterday as well.
Yeah,
so
we did. Yeah.
It's not surprising that they're the ones that have put Cambridge in this commanding position.
Well, that's right, yeah. We shall get face-off then to the left of Lilith's goal as she is looking at it. And Sinead Jennings will take the draw against Julia Mabry. Yeah, I kind of wished I could have gone to the 2 league games between these two sides now, because it's a good series, isn't it, really?
Yes, it is. And I mean, despite being 3-0, I think Streatham are sort of. It almost feels like it flatters Cambridge slightly, even though they've got you take your chances, and that is the game, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a game of taking chances.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I think on the balance of play, there's not been a great deal separating them, but absolutely, it has been Cambridge who have taken their chances, and Streatham perhaps haven't. I would probably argue that Cambridge have created more goal-scoring opportunities, or clear goal-scoring opportunities, and perhaps that's why. But in terms of the game overall, yeah, there's literally nothing between the sides. As they will advance into the offensive zone now with Storm.
And you see how they got possession there because they put it in behind the D.
Yeah.
And that's what I think they need to do to create more of those chances. But they also need to not get sucked into the one side of the ice too much, because they've got no outlet, even if they win the puck. So
yeah, true.
It's easier said than done when you're up here, though.
It certainly is, isn't it? Yeah.
And also when you're facing a team that's skilled and is strong on the puck, as Cambridge. And here is Sarah Latte. Oh.
Yeah, and I mean, you feel that for Streatham to get back into this, you probably need a big goal from Latte just to get her team fired up, don't you?
There's a penalty coming here.
It's going to be on Alexis Butler, I think, for body check-in. Collision with Sarah Carvenan. Alexis is a tall player, so often does create a mismatch.
Sometimes I think that creates some softer calls that you get.
Yeah, sure.
I think we saw it early in the under-16s where I think Emily Duffy went against a player because Emily's quite strong, and she went against a player there was a mismatch in size, and I think possibly if they'd been the same size, that wouldn't have been the call. But
right, yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I do understand that.
And it's not easy being a ref. I mean, optically these things look bad to everyone in the crowd, and you don't call it. And you know.
No, and I suppose you've got to make that judgment pretty quick, haven't you? You can't just say, well, this player's a few inches taller than the other, so we'll give them a little leeway. But you've kind of just got to call what you think is right, don't you? Judge it on its merit.
Cambridge, Christina Ashley went down hard there. Yeah. I actually think Cambridge were offside when they went into the zone as a result of that.
Milton brought down. That's going to be a penalty as well. That's going to be a 5-on-3 then for Cambridge, as Anderson charges back to a bench. Won't get there in time for the extra skater, but it is going to be a minute 13 of a 5-on-3 power play then for the Kodiaks, as Francesca Thorogood is led away.
It's not where you want to be as 5-on-3 against.
Not against this Kodiak side.
5-on-4 is bad enough.
Yeah. If the rest of the league, 5-on-5 is bad enough.
yeah, exactly.
Collected on the far side by Claire Ledbury.
This is one where your goalie's got to be the best penalty killer.
Indeed, yeah. Comes out to Anderson. Shot comes in, goes over the top.
You almost want to let them have it on the half wall here, because they very unlikely to score against the goalie left right from there. and just try and take away the high rent district in the middle. So
yeah, you do. Josie Milton working it back. Holland fires. Oh, big rebound, and again Lilith Wright doing a good job using the blocker, the pads, the glove, the stick, a bit of everything there, all combined to make that smart stop. We'll get to see it again on the replay here as Holland winds one up from the right wing side, fires, comes out with the glove, off the blocker, then covers it up once again.
it's almost like it was almost like she shot that for Maybury to tip or get
possibly
the rebound on there.
Well, that's certainly how Cambridge got the go-ahead goal, wasn't it? The opening goal.
Yeah, they've got very active sticks in that area, so.
Yeah, they do.
They almost just want to. Well, they've managed to clear the zone, so that'll give them a little bit of respite. I think we've still got about a good minute of 5-on-3 left.
We have, yeah.
Assuming that the Cambridge don't get Cambridge don't get a penalty or anything, but.
Yeah, over onto the far side. It's shot. That's a good save by Lilith Wright, and it was Claire Lebry who wound up that shot.
Seeing the activity on the Cambridge bench, and I can see Ashley seems to be up with her helmet on, ready for a shift. So
yeah,
after seeing her going down there, it's good to see her back up.
It is, yeah. Collected by Anderson, who keeps it inside the zone. The first penalty about to tick down then, so it will revert to a 5-on-4 penalty, or power play rather. As Mabry's shot on the short side, he's well stopped by Wright again. I mean, you know, for somebody so young, you've got to say she's showing great composure there.
Yeah, she is, and I think she is being their best penalty killers, which is what they need from her right now.
Yeah.
They certainly can't afford to cough up a power play goal.
Absolutely, yeah. Our monitor's about to switch off. Anderson keeps it inside the zone. Shot comes just wide, but through the blue paint and into the corner. Anderson comes over to close that door off. And then worked into space by Carvenan. Ashley drop pass to Carvenan again. The Finnish defender winding one up, or forward rather. She did play defence for Peterborough for a while, I believe, before switching back to forward. Into the zone now. Carvenan just having to watch her feet so that she can stray offside. Into the corner. Ledbury will dig that one out. And the Storm able to kill off both penalties then, so impressive from them. Toma Severichiute is...
and then they've got the break, and Thorogood's fresh as you can get that puck across to her.
Did well to begin with against what wasn't very many options for her, but Goldstone just standing her up really, didn't she?
Yeah.
Over on that far side, it's cross.
Is it clear? Thorogood. Now I think her line's getting back together, slowly but surely.
Yeah.
And here's Gallagher.
Control behind the back of the net. Butler's open, but they're going to switch it to either point. Shot from Olive Broadbank. Yeah. That will be covered up by Anderson. Just having a quick word with the officials there. Often wonder what gets said during these little stoppages.
I'd love to have a little mic'd up situation.
Yeah.
Although, depends, it's a family show. Depends what
well, this is it, yeah. We might have to have a bleeper machine handy. Back to Butler, who winds one up through traffic. Good save by Anderson. That was well taken, wasn't it, with the glove?
Yeah. You get some shots from there. I think they'll get some joy if they can get shots from there and get someone unsight in Jackson.
Yeah. Jennings works it back to Schultz. And then Holland looking to break out. Broadbank comes across, she'll control.
That was some sweet sauce there, actually.
It was. Petra Kosegi switching it out wide to Sinead Jennings. Schultz makes up is the third member of his line. Yeah, we've seen some nice plays, actually, some really good hockey. And as we saw a couple of one-sided scorelines in the semi-finals yesterday, it's although they are 3 goals ahead, it has been much more competitive, hasn't it?
Yeah, certainly.
That one comes through. Anderson will cover up. Russell just making sure she clears the zone, sorry, the crease rather, to protect her goalie.
From a contest point of view, I'm not partisan in this game, but as a contest point of view, it'd be good to see Streatham get a goal here.
Yes, it would, yeah.
Bring this game to life a little bit more.
Particularly going into the third, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Give them a bit of confidence. And
gathered in by Storm on the far side by Savalati.
I do kind of hope they get a nice cut after this period, because I do think it is
there will be after this one. We've got
some of the more.
Otherwise, it'd be 4 periods of hockey that'd be played on it by the end of it. Goldstone. Milton puts in off the right wing side.
That was good patience by Milton there, because it would have been quite easy to just try and backhand.
Oh
my goodness!
What a finish! And again, it come out of nothing almost. A shot from range, picked out into the top corner.
Just when
Claire Ledbury, what a goal!
Just when you thought Streatham were getting out, they pulled it back in.
Yeah, and that's the mark of a good side, isn't it, to react at that moment.
A little bit of Donny Brasco in the commentary there, but that was...
We see the replay here now. It's controlled by Josie Milton again, taking it behind the back of the net, trying to get it towards Goldstone. Oh. And then it's cleared by Streatham towards Ledbury, who just wrapped her stick round it, and look at that. Looped and arced through the air into the top corner, block aside, for what was a beautiful finish.
I'm quite glad we got the screen here. It was very fun to watch that one again.
Yeah, it was. One of the goals of the tournament, that one. Well done to Claire Ledbury for that goal. Sarah Carvenan will chase this one down.
I think they may have just given an assist to Christina Ashley, like they used to give Tony Hand assists. That was never an assist by Christina Ashley. And
that's right.
Tony Hand used to get assists when he was on the bench.
On the bench, he'd just shout his name and they'd put it on.
The thing about that assist there is that if you were going to give the accidental assist, Josie Milton was the one that made the play kind of happen almost.
Carvenan winds that one up and forces Lilith right into another save. I mean, I think a lot of people used to say the same thing about Wayne Gretzky. He would get assists when he wasn't always on, but certainly I've heard that said about Tony Hand. And there was another player for the Whitley Warriors called Carl Cully, who was like that phenomenal goal scorer. He'd put up a lot of points, but he'd be on the bench, and when the officials would come over, he'd be shouting his number so that he'd get, one of the assists or something, just to get his points up. Not that he needed any more points, because he was a very high production player, but
we normally have the opposite problem in Scotland, is that they don't give any assists. So
no. Well, and sadly, we see that a lot in the Women's League, where a lot of assists get missed, or they were wrong ones, and I'll watch the streams of the games back, and I'm like, well, that's completely wrong. This player's been given an assist, and we're nowhere near it. This one's been missed off, and you kind of have to correct the game sheet, really, in some ways. Ledbury doing well to control that with the on-rushing player to deal with. It was Petra Kosegi, the Hungarian-born forward for the Storm. Back to the neutral zone.
Erin Russell again, just anticipating, doing the selfless thing, despite all that skill that she had yesterday with that beautiful goal. I think that makes it even more impressive, the way she's playing.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, she has played very well. Jennings centering pass towards Kosegi, who was trying to burst through the middle there, and then Andrea Kareliuk advances down the left wing boards. Well defended though by Claire Ledbury, who just trapped that one with her feet and wouldn't allow her opponent to advance any further. She'll leave that one for Erin Russell. Every quick look over his shoulder before clearing. And
It was a good play by Jackson there.
Yeah, it was indeed. Try to keep the move going. Saralati will collect as the puck rolls into the corner.
Oh,
Russell again will come out with that one. Closed down pretty quick though by Helen Clark, yesterday's player of the game for the Storm. And Streatham doing a good job of having a bit of extended time in the offensive zone there, with just over 90 seconds remaining in the period.
Just not getting much to the net to really test Jackson there, which is unfortunate because it was pretty good zone time.
Yeah, it was.
Quite good at holding the zone and being aggressive, which is what they need to do, because if they don't have any chance of pulling this back, they need to be aggressive, and I don't mean in a kind of go and get a penalty kind of way, but they need to. Oh, that was controversial. That
yeah,
for me, but
yeah, it was
the liney is on the line, and I'm up here, so
yeah. Well, yes, indeed. It looked close to me, though. Thomas saved Vachute. It was who was carrying in. But yeah, I mean that's a good response by Streatham. They're starting to spend a bit more time causing Cambridge problems. Change the lines up a little bit here, Kodiaks, as Milton's going to take the face off at centre.
I think they've also Streatham have changed as well. I think.
Yeah.
Man's now come onto this first line. Gallagher and Thurgood still together.
Yeah, she's coming in place of O'Kane, hasn't she?
Oh, this is not what you wanted, though. You did
break
not
out by
want
Milton. Lovely Deke gets in behind. Could she get the finish? She's pushed wide. Butler just did enough to put her off.
Long reach of Butler there.
Yeah,
was just enough, I think, to throw her off, having any real chance of cutting in. So
that one took a deflection off someone's skate as they tried to get the puck back down there, and then Milton's brought down by
Gabby Gray. that was quite a soft one there. I mean, I can see why it was given. I'm not arguing with the referee, but I'm just.
We'll see as they enter the zone now, as Milton, just forced wide, ran out of real estate, and allowed the goalie Lilith right there to make get a piece of it on the way through.
Yeah, the one thing they're going to have to turn around Streatham in the third is the penalty count towards them.
Yeah,
it saps their energy, despite the fact they've actually done quite well in the penalty kill. It saps their energy.
Indeed, yeah. Sinead Jennings digs that one out the corner, sends it around the boards, and Anderson just about keeps it in. Trying to steer that one into the top corner once again. Clearing behind the back of the net, and they'll push out, but Milton gets there first, but the buzzer will beat the pair of them.
I'll be happy to hear the end of hear that buzzer. Streatham get a chance to get in the locker room and regroup there, because I could see activity down at the Zamboni door. So
yeah, well, we will leave you with this replay. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with you in 15 minutes time, so please don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Sheffield then for the third period between the Cambridge Kodiaks and the Streatham Storm, the Division 2 final, which will decide promotion up to Division 1. I'm Adam Mattman. Joining me for this one is Richard Rambo Gray. Rambo, it's a 4-0 score, but as we said, really, Streatham have been in the contest throughout, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. I think Cambridge have just been the clinical team, which we knew they could be, and for Streatham, they maybe just don't want to get too inside their head. Just enjoy this. There's only 20 minutes of hockey left this season, so go out there, enjoy it, take it one goal at a time. Yeah, indeed. As that one is cleared by Jackson. Anderson will drop back in control in the corner. Cambridge 20 minutes away potentially from promotion, and
position in Division 1 for next season. They will replace the Cardiff Comets if that does take place.
Just like Emma Bunton, tonight could be the night that 2 becomes 1 for them.
Indeed, yeah.
It totally aged myself there.
Very mid-90s, isn't it?
Yeah, there's Gen Z people on Wikipedia wondering who Emma Bunton is right now.
Yeah. I mean, I lived through that era, and I still think who was Emma Bunton, but that's a different subject altogether. Gathered in by the Kodiaks, a stretch pass to Josie Milton, who will chase that one down. Nice pass out wide to feed Julia Mabry. Alicia Anderson winds one up, it's blocked. And done so well by Andrea Kareliuk. Nice work by Augusta Tomase-Vechute. Carvenan up on this near side. Christina Ashley would follow that one in. Tomase-Vechute will clear. Milton just out of her reach, but that will be gathered in by Sinead Jennings. So Streatham kill off that penalty then. Shot from Milton, that's blocked by Andrea Kareliuk. Fire back in, but Cambridge were offside, so they'll have to come out the zone. But that will allow them to complete the change. Jazz
need to make
Wilson.
that their last penalty of this game.
Yeah, we do.
Definitely do. It was almost a terrible change, but they got away with it. And I see they've got Oniel Kane back with Gallagher and Thorogood now, so maybe just thinking that they're going to go all out on this first line to try and turn the tide scoring wise.
Yeah. As commentators on this game, Rambo, we have a vote for the All-Stars. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that for goalie, defender and forward across the 4 Division 2 sides.
Yeah, I don't know if I was supposed to say on air now, or is this a unfair
it's not going to matter because obviously the result will ultimately get named afterwards. But I've seen who other people have voted for. I'm not going to say anything and influence that, so I'm just interested in your opinion.
I think for myself, defensively, I think Broadbank's someone I would have maybe voted for, but I think Erin Russell has just pushed it for me. I think she's not just the goal yesterday, but just the way she's been playing. The little things like that she just done there to break up that pass to the slot. She's really smart, and I think she's actually stood out for Cambridge on a team that has Claire Ledbury for me. I would go for Erin Russell. Goalie wise, I think Lilith Wright would be my pick. Appreciate she's given up 4 in this game, but I think she's had to be solid to only give up 4 in this game. Forward wise is a little bit more tricky, but I think on balance I would go for Josie Milton just because of what she's brought to the game, and being kind of wise beyond her years. She's pretty patient on the rush, so yeah, that would be my votes. If I do get a vote, don't I? So
you do get a vote.
That's my vote. So you texting down to people what my votes
I am indeed. I've not influenced you. I've not showed you what everyone else has said in the group.
If I get 3 from 3, do I get some kind of prize?
Well, you've agreed with one of the 3 is the current leader, so I'll not say which until it's announced at the end. But they are good choices, and I would argue they would probably be my choices as well. I would maybe, you kind of covered Claire Ledbury in defence. For me, it would either be Claire or Erin for defence.
You know, I think swung it for me was last night Erin's back check when it was 6-0, and I think that's what swung that particular thing. That back check as a coach is something that you can't teach a player to back check like that. They have to want to do it. So, you can teach them, but you can't make them. So no, indeed. As Milton chases that one down, must have heard what we've been saying. It's another good shift from her. If she scores and looks up and points up here, there's something weird going on in her. She might have headphones in her helmet.
She may well be listening to the commentary as she's playing. Ledbury I wonder if you could actually do that. Have your phone on the bench and then have the pods in your ear or something.
In one of the BIHA games, we had a goalie that was mic'd up and could hear us.
Oh, there you go.
So
we're going to get a power play for the Kodiaks then. Jackson racing back to the bench, but couldn't quite get over the ledge at first. Very difficult when you've got the pads on, isn't it, as a goalie?
Certainly is. Speaking of difficulty here, my arm is hurting watching the ref here for how long they've had their arm up for a delayed penalty.
It was a while, wasn't it? I mean, I don't suppose you've ever had to play at Solihull, have you?
I did when I was younger.
Okay.
It's
not the rink you want to be climbing boards on a penalty when you've got pads on.
Those strange sort of stanchions behind the boards, and then the bench is kind of weird as well. So it's a
bench which is essentially like a few seats in and a naughty chair for a penalty box.
Yeah.
It is very unique. Ledbury works it back. Shot from the point from Maybury.
So after, I feel like I've given them the commentator's curse and said that Streatham can't afford another penalty, and they've taken one. So.
Yeah, and by the time this one is all said and done, it's probably going to leave them, 12, 13 minutes to find 4 goals. Not impossible, but the more the time ticks on, the less they have to work with. Tomase Vachute working well. Claire Ledbury putting a bit of a spin there. I think Lati just had a stick wrapped up in her jersey.
We used to have a player that used to say that a penalty on your team is a chance for a short-handed goal, but...
Well, that's certainly worked for the Queen Bees yesterday and for the Chelmsford Rattlesnakes today, didn't it, with the goals that they scored. So, yeah, some teams can use it to their advantage. Louise Adams certainly did. As that one is cleared out the zone. Gathered by Julia Maybury. Switches a play over to the far side. Tipped in by Hoshizaki. Alcafin Leak to get in behind Broadbank. Over on that far side.
That's some good footwork and stick work from Broadbank there.
Yeah, it was indeed. Ledbury carries forward. Holland. Nicely done down this left wing side. Needs a bit of support, but well defended by the Storm and Andrea Kareliuk. Anya O'Kane on that left wing side will carry the puck behind the back of the net. Someone's lost a glove. Back to Butler, who shoots some range. That one's picked off though by Anderson. Out wide for Carvenan, who chases down Jazz Wilson out the box. So
that was
Storm back to full
mighty
strength.
Impressive penalty kill from Streatham there.
As almost stabbed home.
They were actually, I think they spent the same amount of time in Cambridge's zone as Cambridge spent in their zone there, so that was some good penalty killing now, but they really need to establish some pressure. And
yeah, Maybury will carry down this left wing side. That one's cut out up on this near side by
that was a smart little
Gallagher.
play into space for Lati.
Yeah, gets a shot off. That's a good save by
Need to
Alicia
be aiming
Anderson.
for spaces, not faces, when you're shooting there.
Indeed, yeah. Alicia Jackson, sorry, I should say. So we get a face-off inside the Kodiak zone. 12:37 to go. Time moving on. Josie Milton looks like she's going to take the draw now. Oh no, it's not. It's Caffin Leak, sorry. Yeah, for a second it was a number 2, but it's a 12. Lati gathers off the boards, and that's a good effort, forcing Jackson into the save. Back to Broadbank over on that far side. Actually behind the back of the net, it's sent around the boards. Lati's open, she's got a chance here, fires, that's a blocker save. Great save by Jackson there.
It's the first time I've really seen Jackson really have forced to sort of stretch out for the save in this game.
It is, yeah. Yeah, she's earned her money there, certainly. As we'll get a replay of it here.
It's some lovely passing from Streatham there.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was. I mean, Lati's
look at this seam pass here.
She's got herself into a position there where she's open. receives the pass, high slot, and then just steered it on net, but unfortunately couldn't pick out the top corner and could only find Alicia Jackson, but she did well to get a blocker across there, actually, because it was a really strong effort. Cambridge got a breakout.
This is not the person you want to get the puck
Anderson.
here.
Alicia Anderson. Oh, it's going to be another penalty, though.
She got the shot off, so it should be a penalty shot.
Yeah, that's true. I think it will just be a penalty.
Yeah.
And then the Streatham defender colliding with goalie left right. It's going to be Andrea Kareliuk, who goes back to the bench, the Canadian-born defender. So another power play, and as you said, it's proving costly for Streatham now, and every 2-minute penalty they have to serve, it's 2 minutes less they've got to get back in the game.
Yeah. Some discussion here.
Yeah,
I
there
think
is.
they're wondering if they should give the penalty shot. In my opinion, no. But if
no, like you say, it's normally if it's a
2 minutes for
it's normally if they can't get the shot off, and as you say, she did. So in that sense, it's kind of negates that. It's timeout called by Cambridge, though.
I think Cambridge are probably looking what they can drop here to kill this game off once and for all.
Yeah,
You've got to think a fifth goal. I mean, kind of essentially means it's over as a contest, but
yeah. I mean, I don't want to rule out Streatham's chances right now, but against this Cambridge side, it would take a monumental effort, wouldn't it, to come up with 4 goals in the time remaining anyway. Yeah,
Streatham, they've not generated a lot of high-quality scoring chances. They've had a lot of chances, but they seem to not generate. As I say, that was the first time that Jackson stretched out. So
yeah, first time she really had to work.
So yeah, I think it's probably a massively uphill task now, but I don't think Cambridge want to leave anything to chance. They were extremely disappointed last year, as we know, from not making the not getting out to the finals and making it all the way. But I think they're ready to go. They want to get up there as a club, and I think there'll be good value for it. So,
indeed. Well, we get a face-off in the Streatham zone. Francesca Thorogood will take the draw against Christina Ashley after that lengthy stoppage, first for a penalty and then for the Kodiaks timeout.
Of course, if Streatham do come back from here, there'll be a lot of bears with sore heads. So,
yeah, they'd be a bit grisly, wouldn't they?
Yes. Do you know, last year, I gave every team a pun, and my pun for them was actually something to be we're the ones who are picture perfect, which is a throwback to when Kodak used to be a thing.
Oh
so
yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm old enough to remember Kodak. That's not even a thing anymore, is it?
No, you used to have to go and wait for your photographs to be
developed.
Yeah,
it would take days, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And then you find out you accidentally exposed the film to the sun and there would be nothing.
Yes, that's right. As Ashley will enter. Yes, the digital age we live in now, so much easier. As Anderson will wind one up. Fans on it a little bit, though, and that allows the Storm to clear, but it'd be gloved by Anderson. She'll hold on. Waits for her teammates to get back on side before slipping the pass over to Ashley, who will re-enter.
Now this is where you wonder if that taking an early timeout would have made much of a difference here. I mean, arguably not at the scoreline it is, but
yeah, indeed.
You're having to use your penalty killers over and over again.
Well, it just drains the energy then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And allows Cambridge to continue that momentum building. A little over 10 minutes remaining in the game.
I mean, you could do. I mean, they could sort of do a wee fly Mila Peroni move from earlier on. Go and get a drink of water during icing and have a chat then. But I'm not entirely sure that they'll get away with it. So
no, possibly not. That one is cleared.
Well, she did get away with one there. I applauded the gamesmanship of it earlier on.
Yeah, and rightly so. There's that one. You've got to try these things, haven't you?
Yep. As Yogi Bear said, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. It might be Yogi Berra, but
yeah. You played for the Yankees, didn't you?
Yeah.
I think I preferred Yogi Bear. As that one will clear. Lati will gather. He's got time.
Back to full strength now. Lati leaves that
Yeah.
one behind.
She's got time to carry forward. As we
That's
said yesterday, Lati
Really
is
hard press from Josie Milton there.
Yeah, so impressive throughout. Lahti is from the town of Lahti in Finland. Milton looking to re-enter his zone. And she's calling for a puck again there. Here's Josie. Pass from Erin Russell. Tomase Vechute into the corner. And then cleared, collected at centre red by Broadbank. Entangled up there with Carvenan. Finn on each side, which is what I love about this game, when you can attract players from Europe and the world and all these hockey playing nations. And in some cases on your team, Rambo, not traditional playing hockey markets, like Tatiana, who's from the Bahamas.
From the Bahamas, and we got Argentinian. And
Yeah. Indeed. So that was carried out by Kareliuk.
countries that are currently in the WNIHL Development Cup.
Yeah, well, Ireland's one of them, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is good, the growth of the sport.
Yeah, I'm hoping Ireland get their rink so they can have.
Well, rumours Dublin are getting one, isn't there?
I think they would, whatever the lowest tier is, they could possibly play in that. And
well, it would be a start, wouldn't it, at the very least? And I think it's, the nation needs it. There's very good players being created, particularly in the north, in and around Belfast. But for a national team, I think it does need to be in Dublin. Controlled. Centre and pass, Leak eased off the puck though. That one's cleared, lovely pass through, but Stoltz couldn't control. And Schultz, rather, as we are almost inside the 7-minute mark remaining. It's starting to sort of peter out a little bit, isn't it?
yeah,
Cambridge.
I think for Streatham now as well, it'd be nice to get maybe a strong finish, get a goal, something to take into next year. I mean, assuming unless there's a monumental miracle, and it might be something that could come on the end of this person's stick, but
Lati it is, yeah.
Oh, froth
There's
me
the
up,
goal.
Sarah Lati. See, I've been waiting for that one. Froth me up, Sarah Lati. I hope they get that that's a coffee reference and
I'm
not
not
just
sure.
something weird, like I've got rabies or something.
No, I'm sure they will get the coffee analogy, but that is a fantastic goal, and I'm sure it will be a big key toss from her to the releasing pass, which means thank you in Finnish. There's a lot of other words I know in Finnish, but they aren't broadcastable, which I've been taught by my Finnish friends in Finland.
It's funny when you get friends that speak different languages. That's the first thing they teach you, isn't it?
Well, I got taught a Finnish hockey song, which gets sung by the Pelicans fans in Lahti, to the tune of Jingle Bells, but it's mostly about drinking and not really caring, but with some swear words thrown in, so I can't really use that on air. But even in Finnish, it wouldn't be right. But for anyone who does want to know it, I can teach you it. That one is centering. It's quite ironic. It's probably the only thing I can say in Finnish, and it is this hockey song. So, but as you say, even if that is a consolation with 6 minutes to go, it's a pretty nice one, isn't it? That's a really good finish.
It certainly is, and it's something to take into next season, because they're, again, assuming there's a miracle in the next 5 or so minutes, you're not going to have to deal with this team next year, and if you can go out knowing that you pushed them,
indeed, yeah,
which they have done. I mean, as I say, the scoreline probably flatters the Kodiaks a little bit. Not because the Kodiaks aren't good value for the chances they've taken, just because I think Streatham have put them a lot closer than the scoreline reflects.
Yes, I know what you're saying, and I'd agree. It will be very interesting next season, because Cardiff are going to come down, and they'll be naturally strong, assuming they keep everyone together, because this is a team which has won this league the previous 2 years before this year. You've got Haringey getting promoted, and they've already beaten Streatham this season, so twice, I believe, or a draw and a win and a draw, rather.
Save.
It was very good save. So they're naturally going to be competitive. So you're talking about 3 very strong teams. You throw in Slough and Solent, who continue to improve. It's going to be a very tough league next year.
Yeah.
Very tough. Cambridge probably getting out at the right time, if indeed they will. Oh, that one's almost looped in.
Oh my goodness, how did that not go in?
It rolled.
Oh my God.
That was stabbed wide. That one rolled along the bar and down the post.
Oh.
It was like a pinball machine, wasn't it? Just ran along the underside of the pipe.
Sharknado, that was bare noodle for the goalie there. That was.
And I tell you what, if that had gone in and 4-2 with 4:22 to go,
game on. Isn't it
is game on.
Oh,
because the momentum swing, if nothing else.
I don't know if we've got that queued up. I have no idea how that didn't go in.
I'm sure we'll get a replay of it next stoppage. Oh, and that one just popped out the glove, but we do get a stoppage now as Lilith Wright will carry on.
Exchanging details for Christmas cards, I think there.
I think so, yeah. Well, we'll see this again then.
Let's see what happened here.
Yeah, it comes off Anderson's stick. And then the big shot coming in from Thorogood. Oh, no, it wasn't Thorogood, was it?
Seems to be blocked a few times.
Oh, no. It was stabbed by the Cambridge defender.
Oh, and then she has the
steering it up.
Shot.
It was Erin Russell, wasn't it? She tried to steer it off the post, and it went along the goal line, but didn't go over. That could have gone anywhere.
Oh,
incredible! And yet,
we got a TMO decision, or is there penalties? Or
I'm not sure. But then, if it had gone, if that had been Swindon, it would have just gone straight in, wouldn't it? The day they had, and that's what we were talking about before with lucky bounces and things going for you or against you. And well, that was the hand of fate which had helped Cambridge on that occasion.
That was a very exciting moment, and that's what I mean about the scoreline flatters Cambridge a little bit, because Streatham have been good value in battling with this team.
Yeah, indeed. Well, there is a lengthy discussion. We're not entirely sure what for. It can't be because of a discussion of a goal, because the players continue to.
I don't think there is a video review system.
No, there's not. No, I mean, this is it. It's what we've just seen ourselves. And issue with a clock maybe is potentially a problem, but there's no more timeouts because both teams have used one. But
this is one where you'd like to hear what the refs were saying.
Yeah, absolutely,
just to work out why that happened. I mean, obviously there was good reason for it.
Yeah, indeed.
And this is a pretty good crew. We've got good crews in all the games in this, so there's a reason behind everything that's going on. It's just we can't hear them.
Yeah, well, this is true, yeah. This goes into the corner then on the resumption of play. Streatham will carry out, but I mean that lengthy stoppage probably hasn't helped them, because their momentum was going with them right there. As Tomasej Vachute will carry it into the zone, into the corner. Lati is there to support her. And then Alston Romano gets it away off the board. I think they've
switched Lati to forward here. She's not a bad idea.
Yeah, she's certainly playing in a more advanced role, isn't she? That,
like the rover.
Yeah.
The old rover
indeed, yeah.
position.
Yeah, I would like to call it the Casey Trowell position, where she likes to sort of sit between defence and forward and link the two together. But either way, it's productive, and she's caused Cambridge problems since they switched up. Tomasej Vachute has dropped back as well into a more defensive role.
Well, that's nice
to cover that off as Lati controls once more. She's staying out there right now inside the final 3 minutes of the game, or regulation at least.
I think she's got a good engine, Lati. So
yes, she has.
I may be thinking if we could get one more here, this is.
Well, this is it. And had that one have gone in, it would have very much been game on. 2-goal game. Tails up, momentum with them. You just never know, and just shows that games are never over till they're over. That one hits the feet of the official, keeps in the zone, but then Cambridge get it away at the second attempt with 2:20 to go then, or thereabouts.
Oh, that was a heavy landing. I'm glad to see she got back up there.
Wilson and Milton it was. Wilson plays hard but fair, I always find.
Yeah, there was nothing in it. It was just a coming together, just a a heavy landing. Sometimes it happens.
And then synchronised Snow Angels there from a player on each side. I think it was Goldstone and Gallagher. They both got up covered in, dusted in snow.
Oh, Thorogood there can't get on the end of that.
Corelliuk turned aside by Thorogood. Minute 44 to go now. Goldstone collects and clears. That sends it right on target, so that won't be a nice and cool.
I was just about to say this is a situation where I'd have pulled the goalie because I'm very aggressive in these
That would have been a goal.
And that would have been it'd have been 5-1, and they definitely don't deserve that. So.
No, no. But as you say, it's something to take away from the final at the very least. Potentially they deserved a bit more than that, but as you say, it was a cracking goal. And they can build on this for next season.
This period as well.
Yeah.
Which is something. I mean, maybe Cambridge are just sort of trying to
managing the game,
limit the damage, and just manage it down, let the clock wind down, and
that's all they need to do. They're less than a minute away from promotion. And I mean, considering if there's that much snow on the ice after one period, I think the elite teams will be wanting an ice cut, I'm sure. Alexis Butler clears from centre red, tipped in. It'll be gathered by Erin Russell. Saralati just coming back on side. She'll leave it, but it's picked off by Sarah Carvanen. Olive Broadbank will chase that one down. Yoa Hoshizaki will control. Centering pass, that's going to be covered up though by Alicia Jackson, and she will hold on. We're going to face off inside the Kodiak zone with 23 seconds to go. Well, if you're a Kodiaks fan listening at home, it's time to hold on to your cups, because in a few seconds' time they will be confirmed as playoff champions and a Division 1 side for next season. Butler winds one up, sends it across to Broadbank. She loses her footing. And on that far side, it's cleared. Well, no, it's not cleared actually, as they've trapped the puck over on that far side. Good work there. Hoshizaki goes in for Cambridge. And the Cambridge Kodiaks then will be playing Division 1 hockey next season. Congratulations to them. They win the treble, League, Cup and playoffs. And the cherry on the top is the promotion.
I didn't realise that Cambridge crowd were below us. They've been fairly subdued in this game, maybe a bit nervous, but certainly heard them there. And I think, you know, for a club that only started a couple of years ago as a brand new club, this is a fantastic story, and I think they'll definitely more than hold their own in Division 1.
I think they will. I think you're right.
And it's a lovely facility in Cambridge, having been down there with the Steel Queens. Not to play the Kodiaks, to play the Blues when we were a uni team. And it's a really lovely place to go play hockey.
Yeah, well.
Not far from Stansted either.
No, that's true, actually.
Not that willing National League back into existence, but you've got to think about these things.
You have. I mean, I've been to Cambridge a couple of times myself, not all that far from where I grew up in Northampton, so I'm familiar with the area. So, post-game handshakes, time then to talk about player of the game, first of all. Who stood out for you today on both sides?
I think Sarah Latty today probably is the player of the game for Streatham.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I think Lilith Wright had a good game, but ordinarily I've got like a magic number of 3 for goalies. If it goes over that, then I tend to steer away from it, which is maybe a bit harsh. But yeah, I think Latty for me definitely on the Streatham side. I think it's a tough one to call, but I think Josie Milton for me probably at Cambridge.
Yeah, I'd agree as well.
And to give her that nod with, you know, Ashley, Alicia Anderson, that scored goals in this game as well, and Claire Ledbury with that bullet from the point.
Yeah,
you know, it's
fantastic.
It's how much she's grown even in the years since we last played her as well. I mean, I saw her a year ago and she was very good then. I think she's even better now.
Yeah, I'd have to agree on that as well. I think with Josie Milton, obviously she opened the score and it was a well-read play, wasn't it? She gambled on it. She went for the redirect, poked it home. Fantastic finish.
Along with our young partner Ellie Goldston as well.
Well, absolutely, and they work so good as a tandem together, either side of Christina Ashley. But not just for that goal, but her work rate and what she was trying to achieve on and off the puck. She was trying to make plays all the time. She looked a class above at times, I thought, Josie, today. And this is her, if this is her at, what, 17, 18, what's she going to be like in a few years' time?
I think she's maybe a season or two away, not more than a season or two away from maybe a elite league team coming calling for a two-way that way. Whatever team she decides to play for next year, of course, she's got a choice to make now.
Yeah,
and if she's not
on a two-way,
but be in a two-way to the elite league, she can maybe help a Div 2 team.
Well, that's
true as well.
That's a fair comment. She possibly could. But yeah, I mean, I think she will. Well, undoubtedly, she's going to be a part of the Kodiaks next season, and I'm sure she'll enjoy playing in Division 1 once more, having experienced it with the Falcons this season. But we shall stay on air for the Player of the Game Awards, first of all. Then we will have the All-Star Awards, and then the playoff presentation to the Cambridge Kodiaks. But amongst all winning all them trophies, which are nice, the most important thing, of course, is that they have been promoted, and that this is a big game in that respect.
Well, promoted, I mean, for the Steel Queens last year, promotion meant a lot of opportunities for the club, and they're probably in an easier position for us, locale-wise, to possibly add a Div 2 team.
Goes to Savalati, as you said, Rambo, the player of the game.
I think it had to. She really, I mean, she played some big minutes at that.
Yeah.
At the end of that period, at the end of that game there,
it was a big final period from her, wasn't it? And she was rewarded with that goal.
Probably their player of the year for them, based on what I've seen and reported. And then
Catherine Leake gets player of the game for the Kodiaks, and yeah, she worked hard throughout against her former side. She'll be pleased with that, I'm sure. It's always nice to put in a performance that against your old team, isn't it?
I mean, we've played against Catherine a few times with the Steel Queens in various forms, and she's one that sort of rolls the sleeves up and does a job.
Indeed, yeah. Well, we're going to get the All-Star announcements now, which is why Faye Andrews is taking over on the mic. So we'll leave her to explain.
To remind me of that.
Chosen by our media team, so was that with our best netminder of the tournament, and that is Lily Wright.
So Lilith
I
Wright.
was going to Lilith, yeah, as goalie, and I mean, she was fantastic yesterday. She had an outstanding game. Never allowed Widnes a chance, really. Today, faced a lot of traffic. The goals you couldn't particularly blame her for. It was obviously a 4-1 score, but she made some big saves today, and I think she was probably tested more than maybe Alicia Jackson was. Claire Ledbury gets defender.
Yep.
You can see how happy she is with that, and I mean, yeah, I mean it's been a really good season for her. It's been capped off with that goal. I know how important that goal will be for her in the final as well. Scoring in the final is huge, and that's a deserved award. Josie Milton.
Oh, so I got 2 out of 3. And as Meatloaf said, don't be sad, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So
indeed, yeah, yeah. And Josie Milton then, well-deserved award. And I'd say that on balance, that's probably about right, isn't it, really? You got 2 awards for the Kodiaks, one for Streatham and the goalie who was tested throughout. So,
and I'm sure I'll be able to confirm this with Mara at some point in the future, but I'm pretty sure she was a top scorer in this tournament this weekend. So
yeah,
I'm probably completely wrong, but
we shall see. So now it is the medal and caps presentation. Josie Milton, the first player, she's number 2. Claire Ledbury, number 3. 6, Sarah Karvanen. 9, Yoa Hoshizaki. I don't believe. Oh, she is here. Yeah, the backup goalie. 12, Catherine Lee. Oh, in fact, I'll let Colin do this because I think you can probably hear him back home. I'll save my voice for later.
It sounds like the old stock car racing with the echo.
Yes, indeed, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's fully deserved. We joked, didn't we, that it was in the podcast that it's Cambridge's world and everyone else was living in it. Well, you still have a job to do, and sometimes it's even more difficult when you're overwhelming favourites, as you possibly found out last year, because I know the Steel Queens came in with a lot of probably the people's favourites, weren't they, coming in, having had a dominant season in the north. And then when you have to live up to them expectations, it can be much tougher to then deliver.
Yeah.
But they've got the job done, and congratulations to them. Captain Christina Ashley now will be presented with a trophy. And this is getting familiar for her, the third time this season then. Congratulations to the Cambridge Kodiaks. They are the Division 2 champions of the playoffs and of the Southern League and of the Cup. For 2024-2025, they've completed the treble, and their reward will be a place in Division 1 South for next season. We will leave you with these pictures then in the background. We're going to take a short break before the Elite League game comes on, the final for that. But I've been Adam Mackman. I just wanted to thank you, Rambo, for joining me for these Division 2 games. It's been a massive help, and I've enjoyed the commentary and the banter throughout. And, well, hopefully you'll join me again next year.
It would be a pleasure, Adam, and thank you very much for having me. And thank you to all the staff of the EIHA for putting this wonderful event on. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks to everyone tuned in. We'll be back soon, then please don't go anywhere. We'll be taking a short break.